I hope you enjoy my stories. Instead of just clicking thumbs down, please comment and share how we can do better. If you do like our video, then please like and subscribe.
On the night of October 1, 2017, Las Vegas, Nevada, a city synonymous with its vibrant nightlife, renowned casinos, and world-class entertainment, was plunged into unimaginable horror and chaos. Stephen Paddock, a 64-year-old man from Mesquite, Nevada, carried out what would become the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. From his vantage point, on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, Paddock unleashed a torrent of bullets upon a crowd of concertgoers attending the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival, resulting in the deaths of 58 innocent people and injuring hundreds more. The Route 91 Harvest Festival is a 3-day country music festival held annually in Las Vegas. Drawing thousands of fans from all over the country, the festival is a celebration of music, camaraderie, and joy. On the festival's last night in 2017, over 22,000 fans had congregated to enjoy performances by some of the biggest names in country music. The air was filled with excitement and high spirits as Jason Aldean took to the stage for the closing performance, setting the scene for what was supposed to be a night of revelry and celebration. Stephen Paddock, a retired accountant and real estate investor, had spent the days leading up to the attack meticulously planning and preparing for his deadly rampage. Paddock checked into the Mandalay Bay Hotel 3 days before the massacre. Using his own name, he was provided a suite that offered an unobstructed view of the festival grounds below. Over several days, he managed to move 23 firearms, including 14 AR-15 rifles equipped with bump stocks, into his suite. Bump stocks are devices that enable semi-automatic rifles to fire at a much faster rate, mimicking the capabilities of fully automatic rifles. Paddock's actions and preparations were chillingly methodical. He installed cameras both inside and outside his hotel room, allowing him to monitor the hallways and detect any approaching law enforcement. He even compiled a small arsenal of tools to break the windows of his suite, ensuring he would have a clear line of sight to his targets. At approximately 10:05 p.m., as Jason Aldean performed his closing set, the tranquility of the night was shattered. Paddock smashed 2 windows in his suite with a hammer-like tool and began his assault on the unsuspecting crowd below. The initial bursts of gunfire were mistaken by many as fireworks, a common feature at concerts, but the grim reality soon became evident. Panic spread as concertgoers realized they were under attack, the air filled with the sound of rapid gunfire, screams, and the desperate shouts of those trying to find cover. Paddock fired more than 1,100 rounds in a span of just 10 minutes, turning the festival grounds into a scene of utter pandemonium. People scattered in every direction, some dropping to the ground to avoid the bullets, while others ran, stumbled, and fell in their frantic attempts to escape. The festival turned into a battlefield, with bodies lying motionless and the injured crying out for help. In the face of the unfolding catastrophe, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, LVMPD, acted swiftly. Officers on the ground worked to control the chaos, guiding and protecting the fleeing attendees. Paramedics and emergency medical personnel rushed to the scene, overwhelmed by the sheer number of casualties. Nearby hospitals went into emergency mode as they coped with the influx of wounded individuals, treating everything from gunshot wounds to injuries sustained in the stampede. Simultaneously, a tactical team of police officers made their way up to the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. At 10:17 p.m., as the officers prepared to breach Paddock's room, they found he had already ended his life with a self-inflicted gunshot. The immediate threat was neutralized, but the scale of the horror he had unleashed was only beginning to be comprehended. The human toll of Paddock's rampage was staggering. 58 people lost their lives that night, their ages ranging from teens to seniors in their 60s. Each victim had a unique story and dreams that were cruelly cut short. The injured numbered over 800, with many suffering life-altering injuries, leaving them and their families grappling with trauma and uncertainty long after the initial shock had passed. The attack had not only taken lives, but it also inflicted lasting emotional and psychological wounds on those who survived. The concert-goers, first responders, and the wider Las Vegas community were left to mourn and process the events of that fateful night. What motivated Stephen Paddock to commit such a heinous act remains an enigma. The investigation into Paddock's motives proved to be a complex and, ultimately, inconclusive task. Despite exhaustive efforts, including hundreds of interviews and meticulous tracing of his actions and movements in the months leading up to the shooting, law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, found no clear motive or ideological leanings that could explain his actions. Paddock had no prior criminal history and no known ties to extremist groups. His behavior in the lead-up to the attack showed no significant changes that could have indicated forthcoming violence. His girlfriend, who was out of the country at the time of the shooting, expressed shock and disbelief, stating that she had no knowledge of his plans. Financial records indicated that Paddock had been gambling heavily in the year prior to the shooting, suffering substantial losses. However, whether this played a meaningful role in his actions remains speculative. The lack of a clear motive added a layer of frustration and confusion to an already unimaginable tragedy. In the immediate aftermath of the attack, there was an urgent call for legislative action to address gun violence, particularly focusing on the sale and use of bump stocks. The device, which had been used by Paddock to increase the lethality of his assault, became a central focus in the national conversation on gun control. President Donald Trump and the Department of Justice responded to public outcry by initiating efforts to ban bump stocks. This culminated in a federal regulation enacted in December 2018, making the possession of bump stocks illegal. The regulation aimed to prevent similar devices from being used in future attacks, marking a significant step in addressing the means by which Paddock had amplified his firepower. The Las Vegas community, and the nation as a whole, responded with an overwhelming outpouring of support for the victims and their families. Fundraisers, memorials, and vigils were organized, providing a space for collective mourning and remembrance. Blood donation centers saw record numbers of donors as people sought to contribute in any way they could to the relief efforts. The community's resilience was evident in the face of such profound tragedy. Vegas Strong became a rallying cry, symbolizing the city's determination to recover and support those affected by the shooting. The collective response showcased the strength and unity of a community coming together to heal and rebuild. The devastating impact of the Las Vegas shooting prompted a nationwide reevaluation of security measures at hotels, large events, and public gatherings. Hotels in Las Vegas and around the country implemented more stringent security protocols, including enhanced surveillance, room checks, and review of guest behaviors. Event organizers and law enforcement agencies adopted preventive measures to enhance safety at large gatherings. This included more thorough screenings, increased security personnel, and the development of protocols to quickly identify and neutralize potential threats. The goal was to create safer environments and restore public confidence in attending major events without fear of violence. The Las Vegas shooting of 2017 stands as a poignant reminder of the vulnerabilities and risks associated with mass gatherings in the modern era. It ignited a national conversation about gun control, mental health, and the balance between individual freedoms and public safety. The attack underscored the need for comprehensive strategies to prevent such tragedies, including robust background checks, responsible gun ownership, and mental health interventions. Despite the absence of a clear motive, the legacy of those lost and the heroism shown by first responders and civilians continues to resonate. stories emerged of individuals who risked their own lives to save others, embodying the best of humanity in the darkest of moments. The events of October 1, 2017, left an indelible mark on the fabric of American society. The Las Vegas shooting not only shattered the lives of countless individuals, but also prompted an urgent reassessment of how the country addresses gun violence and public safety. While many questions about Stephen Paddock's motives remain unanswered, the enduring spirit of resilience and communal support serves as a testament to the strength of the human spirit in the face of profound adversity. The memory of those lost, and the lessons learned from this tragic event, continue to fuel efforts towards ensuring that such unspeakable violence never occurs again.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.